Welcome to Grumpy. No, we're happy still, aren't we, boys? Happy old Reds. This is going to be the season review, and what a season it has been, to say the least. Let's get into it. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to the season review. Coming up on tonight's episode, we are going to break this down into sections. So we're going to cover key highlights throughout the season. We'll start with the first part of the season. We'll move up into the period just before the World Cup. We'll talk about the period after the World Cup, the lost streak, and then the party streak towards the end. So there is going to be a little more structure as we go through this. And in between these sections and throughout these sections, we want to get you guys on. And we've got 3 simple questions for you. You can see them coming across the bottom. I don't know why that Arsenal thing's still there, but I'll get rid of it in a second. But what we want to know from you guys is, what was your best moment? And we're not talking about this, the day we beat Arsenal and survived. We want like specifics within games. Was there a specific moment that just stands out to you that you really enjoyed? And what was the lowest point for you? What would have been the worst moment in the season? And then finally, who's been your favorite player this season and why? So get your thoughts in on that. We want to get as many on. It's going to be quick fire guests coming on. So it's going to be in, questions, out, questions. We'll talk about the sections. It will all turn to pot, no doubt, as always, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Anyway, that's the plan. That's the plan. How are you, boys? Dino, hope you're well, bud.
Yeah, I'm really good, mate. Really chilled.
Good. And Ez, welcome to the new Skypad, mate. And he's
I've had to ditch for mansion, man, and I've downsized to a attic space, but it's all good, mate. It's all good. Nice to be in my new house, to be fair, mate. But yeah.
Bro, turn your camera off and on. It's not in a good freezing position, man.
We've had some real special frozen moments on our chat this week. We've just been clipping whenever, well, mine or Ez's cameras have frozen, to be honest.
Oh, Ez is still frozen. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's say hi to the guys in the chat. Martin, good to see you, buddy. You know what? And as Chocker has said, one of his favorite moments was meeting us. Honestly, for me, one of the best moments is getting to know all the guys and girls in the chat. It's just get out and come in, man. Seriously, just go. It's good to see you all. We love this community. It's amazing to see everyone. Eddie, you always crack me up on
you
Twitter,
done all your
mate.
exams now, buddy?
Yeah, I hope you studied for them. Exactly. So, is he back? Is he frozen? Who knows? Who knows with Mr. Mansion? Okay, so I want to get this warmed up. Hi, Laurie. Hi, Eddie. Hi, Stoney. Sai. Good to see you. Henny. Good to see you. Glenn. Forest Till I Die. Florida. Nick. Sick name. Flory as well. You still got £1 to give me on TikTok. We'll sort TikTok out. There's loads of changes coming to Forest Fan TV over the summer. We're going through all of them. We don't want to just sit on our laurels. We want to make sure that we're pushing things forward and making this the best, or at least what we think the best experience is. And Brett's in there. Brett, you're a legend, and you know why.
Yeah.
Hope you're well, buddy.
Yes, you do, Brett. Thank you.
He knows why.
We are so in love with Brett now, man. Oh, my God.
Brett is a legend. All right, guys, I want to start us off, and I want to take us back to the beginning. And I want to talk about that moment and guys, as we're talking about this, if you're not wanting to come on, I'll put the link in a second, but get your thoughts in about how you were feeling during these times as well. And really, Dean, I want to start with you, and there's no better place to start than the actual Newcastle game and the build up into that. 23 years. Last time in the Premier League, you had a full flock of hair, mates. Or did you? I don't know.
It's true. It's true.
Is it true?
The only one as well, right? Woodcock-esque it was, honestly. I promise. You don't want to see pictures. Tell you what, when we get to 20,000 subs, I'll show some pictures.
Oh, I've seen some. I've seen it. He's a little callback. That's what he was.
Yeah, better than that. I've got the most embarrassing picture of all time, I promise.
Good. But anyway, fast forward 23 years and a lot less follicles later. How are you feeling going into that Newcastle game? And honestly, what were you expecting from the game?
A win, man. I can't remember what I predicted, but I was definitely expecting a win. I just think that, yeah, we're here, we've made it finally, and we're just going to just ram everybody, you know, and you just, then we were just like rabbits caught in headlights somewhere that day. It was really embarrassing. I mean, it should have been more, to be fair, but yeah, it was a big wake up call. And I was surprised, to be honest, Wolverine, about the difference in standard between the Championship and the Premier. Really,
what was it? What was it that really stood out? Just specifically in that Newcastle game, was it like the pace of it?
Clinical, the pace of it, the tackling, just everything. You know, they weren't messing up as much. You know. Oh yeah, I really was. Yeah.
Maddie, I can confirm. I've seen pictures. He was ginger.
Yeah.
He was ginger.
I did get strawberry blonder over time. That was proper copper top. I'd even put Cole back to shame in a competition. Yeah, but Wolverine could still have black hair if he went for Just for Men.
We're just waiting for the sponsorship deal to be finalised. We've got to sign the papers, and you know, I refuse to do it without it. Well, actually, I'm already using Just for Men. They've got this new silver colour. Yeah, that's all it is. If I let my hair grow out, it goes back to how it was at the start of the season. It's easy.
As you should use that silver colour. You look like Cisco. Remember that singer Cisco?
Thong song.
Oh, the thong, yeah, the thong man.
The thong song, yeah.
Thong man. Anyway, let's be a bit more serious, right? So the pace, the physicality, the finishing was clinical. Did you instantly go from up here to down there, or did you kind of think we're gonna have to find our way first?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big slap to the ground. To be honest, it was like angels falling out of the sky, and I thought, shit, this is going to be a difficult season. And it has been, to be fair. Oh my God.
Well, let me bring the results up to refresh everyone's memory from back then. So the first game was the Newcastle 1-2-0. And then, Ez, I want to go to the West Ham game because the West Ham game was quite a big moment, wasn't it? First game back at the City grounds. And the atmosphere was electric. At that time, it was probably the best atmosphere we've seen. I mean, I think it's been topped. But is that an actual game that stands out for you in the memory bank? By the way, guys, we're not going to go through this game by game. Yeah, it's just the first couple because they were quite important.
Yeah, about first home game. Yeah, it felt like you know, a sleeping giant we talk about, and I felt like we were a sleeping giant being awoken that day, and the atmosphere was like nothing I've experienced before that. But I've been lucky enough to experience others later on in the season that topped that opening day. But getting a result was amazing. It was so important. And even if you look back to the interview I did with Alan Tate, just name dropping there, that was the highlight for him as well, that opening game, but getting that first victory.
Talking to you?
I've nicked his answer basically. Yeah, so that was definitely a highlight for me. The atmosphere, like I said, we can go on about it all day, but it was like even the away fans applauded us at the end. That's how good the atmosphere was from the home fans that day. And the result, a 1-year, shinning it in, amazing. You know, so it's a day I will never forget. Just being there, but I'm sure everyone who's been watching it's a sense of pride that this is where we belong, and that was the most important message from that day, that we were back where we belonged.
There was a big echo there. I turned me down. So I think it was me.
Is there an echo?
There was a big one. Yeah.
Is it gone?
It's gone.
I think it's gone.
Seems to have gone. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Just on that game, Ez. Just on that game.
Yeah.
It was one of those games where it felt like it was going to be our day. Because if I remember rightly, didn't they score and then Antonio got done on a push on Mangala, if memory serves me correct?
Yeah.
Then we had the famous hat moment as well with Dino saving the penalty.
Yes.
And they hit the crossbar like 3 or 4 different times, and that was absolutely crazy. But it just felt like it was going to be our day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of those games where I think if we played for another hour, Arsenal wouldn't have scored. But Echo's still there, but it's probably coming from me.
I think it's me. Let me just check because I can't.
Hello?
Yeah, so shall I carry on? No, see, it's gone. Yeah.
It's gone now.
Yeah, it's gone now. Yeah, that result was the most important thing that day, but we did ride our luck without a doubt. I mean, I think we did in several other home games as well, as we will move on later on throughout the season. But that was a day where it was like result was all important, and getting it, we were destined to get it. Let's put it that way. And that's, I think, the best way you can say that turned out. But you know, at the same time, we created opportunities in that game, and some of our players. Let's talk about Niakate, for example. You know, he had a storming game. And that's when we realized losing him was going to make a big difference to our season. But yeah, overriding memory of that, we were back where we belonged. We were destined to win, and we did ride our luck as well on that day.
Yeah, I think that's a huge point on Niakate. Is the echo gone, by the way? I've just
yeah. Okay. We've already put £20 on, buddy.
Andy, you say that right. I'm tempted to start a series over the summer, Get Fit with Wolverine, because I've put on 15 kilos, right? Honestly. Do you remember at the start of the season when I had that cast thing there? From there, I just lost my you know, the tone is all gone, and then it went down here. So anyway, there might have to be a Get Fit with Wolverine, work out with Wolverine. There you go. That's the one. That's the one right there. Yeah, the ideas flow in. But yeah, it needs to happen. It needs to happen big time. But yeah, that Niakate moment, Dino, that was quite huge in that game, because do you remember he didn't just come straight off. He carried on, and God knows if he further injured himself. And we were just told
a few times, isn't it, this season? It's a bit of a shame. Yeah, we seem to be very brittle this season, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, we will have to talk about the injury list as well in a little bit.
We've had no head physio, have we?
Yep, that came out quite recently
recently, so we've had no head physio.
It's absolutely crazy. But let's see what the guys in the chat are saying. We've got a couple in the back chat as well. We'll bring them up. There's been a few moments that I've seen here. Is the echo gone, Alex?
Yeah.
Tell us if the echo's. I'm all paranoid with the echo now. Let's have a look. And yeah, as Wheezy says, big up to MG Dub joining the Father Brigade. Congratulations. Congratulations. And get some sleep in, mate, because you're going to need it if it's your first one. I believe it is. Chuck is saying, I correctly panicked for our season when Niakate got injured. Yeah, we all did. It was just the thing that annoyed me about that was we just kept getting told nearly ready. And Chris saying needs to be a chair fitness. Yeah. Careful, Wolfie. What, Timmy, you doing health videos as well, Tim? I may need some help with that. Okay, the echo's gone. That's good to see. And then moving on from that one, Dino, it kind of got into the slapping session. I remember, I think me and you were at the Man City game away.
We were.
That was a humbler. I know the Arsenal game was a few weeks later, but we'll just pair up those slappings together. And Leicester, we got slapped, but we'll talk about that separately as well. But it was one of those ones, wasn't it, where it was a bit of a humbler. It kind of brought you back into reality. I
think those slappings aren't so bad for me. I think that all that shows you is the gulf between where you've come from in the first season and, you know, being really good in the Championship the first season in the Premier League to where they are year on year are getting really good prize money, really getting a good squad together. And, you know, we have got a long way to go. If you know, and I'm sure we can stay in this league. I'm sure we'll have success, but it's not going to be in 2 or 3 years. It's going to be, you know, hopefully longer term. That we don't do a Burnley and stick around for a few years and tickle away and then just drop away. I'd like to see us sort of keep pushing on every year, but there's a few things that's got to be fixed before that. But yeah, I mean the 6-0 that we were at Man City, that was rough, man. Because that did look like against boys, didn't it?
Yeah.
They
put out boys, Dino, as well. Do you remember at the end? At the end, they just put out their kids? It was like embarrassing by that stage.
Yeah. It was just almost the players' kids coming on at the end. It was just like, hey, give him a run out. This will be right against this lot. So that, to be honest, it was all these negative things that happened during the season have helped us become stronger.
Do you think if we went to play that game like a week ago, for example, do you think it would have been 6-0? where we are
If
now
not, sorry,
compared
say
to
that
where
again.
we were. Where we are now compared to where we were then. Do you think Man City would still roll us over 6-0? Or Arsenal? Do
No, I don't.
you think we'd win?
We'd have more of a chance.
Shit,
I'm not
you
going to say
really are on the beach.
Well, we surprised Man City at home, didn't we?
Yeah, but I'm talking away here.
We still need to work on our away form tactics. It's putting the same form. We still need to work on our away tactics.
What do you guys in the chat think? If we played Man City tomorrow, now obviously let's pretend the season we were still in full flow, would we have lost, won, or draw? And if we, well, let's not go to the win, but would the defeat have been as heavy? I don't think it would have. I think we've learned a lot about the team. I think Cooper's learned a lot about who is, say starting 15 for example. I think they've grown and developed as well as players into some form, and a lot of them into Premier League players. It's an interesting question, though. It's an interesting question.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely. Well, I know we're going to talk about the end of the season. Well, I'm going to leave it there because we need to talk about the end of the season. Should we bring this young man spinning
Let's
on
bring
his chin?
Stoney in. Stoney's in the back
Come on,
chat.
Stoney,
All right, remember, guys, these are going to be quick fire. We'll get you in 2 minutes in each person, and then we'll move on because there's a few waiting in the background. I don't want them all sitting around and waiting too long. So let's grab Stoney. Stoney, how you doing, bud? He's not on the beach. He's on the bed.
Is my audio all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I thought it was gonna be horrible because I'm not on my computer this time. So yeah.
How you doing?
I can now breathe. Season's over. We're staying up. Breathe. And now it's exams for me. So.
Well, you need to be studying for those exams, mate.
Don't worry, I've been.
Revision going well?
Yeah, it's going well. I've done most of. Well, not most. I've done most of them, but I've still got like 9 for the next 2 weeks. But then I've got 10 weeks off. So
focus on those. Focus on those, mate. Yeah.
Would,
and then you get your 10 weeks off and you can relax there. He's hungover, says Keith. Yeah, he better not be. He better not be.
I don't drink.
Stoned.
Stoned, isn't it? Literally, yeah. Stoned. All right, Stoney, let's get your answers for these quick fire questions, matey. What was your best moment of the season?
Do you want my joke answer or my real answer?
Both.
All right, so my joke answer, I said it earlier, was in the first Spurs game where fucking Jono and Nico just ruined Richarlison's day. that was
a good moment. I like that moment.
Yeah, that's good call. I like that.
And I think
great moment.
I think because I missed the first Newcastle game and getting to watch the West Ham game first time back, just the second the kickoff came. Just the atmosphere, just everything about it was perfect, and yeah.
It's like so taking the piss out of you, man.
Oh, no.
This is what studying and revision does to you. Okay, they're great moments. I forgot about the Jono one because I remember when Richarlison did that against, I think it was Man U when he was playing at Everton the season before, and no one cleaned him out. And all the Man U fans were getting annoyed about it. And our boy Jono comes and shows them how it's done. Bang, him and Nico.
And then like fucking Nico comes in, WWE wrestler elbow drop.
It's the best yellow card I've seen all season.
Totally worth it.
Tough his players, eh?
Yeah, you wouldn't have put it on them, innit? They're not physical. They're not physical.
Yeah, speak. It's like.
I like that. That sits at number 1 in terms of the viewers' ranking so far. Obviously, you're the first guest on, so congratulations for now. What was the worst moment for you? What was the moment that got you the most down throughout the season?
I've just woken up. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I think for me it was the Leeds 2-1 right at the end when we were all sat in chat. We just had that massive spike in energy, pushing the team on, and then the game finished 2-1, and we just crashed. We thought it was going to be the last game Cooper was in charge for.
Yeah. Did you feel at that point we were going down?
Yeah, I did. That's been my lowest of the season. I think we're done here. We're going back to the Championship, and it just ruined me.
Shit, man, you look like you're gonna cry now just remembering it. let me remind you, Stoney, we survived. We survived. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right, and then the third question: who's been your favorite player this season and why?
I think for me it's been Oreo. I think what he's brought to the team, he had passion, he had the skill, and he surprised everyone. Everyone thought he was going to be like, oh, he's a red card machine back at Tottenham, he's going to be awful. And then he's come in, surprised everyone, had amazing passion, and then probably been our key signing to the to keeping us up. Because if we'd have been playing with Nico the whole season, I don't think we'd have the defence at right back to sort it, and we would have been struggling if not down by now.
Good answers. I can't really take the piss out of those answers too much, do you know?
It's a shame, isn't it? But
they're not bad. I completely forgot about the Jono one. I loved that moment as well. So it's good that he came on. All right, Stoney, you need to go back and revise. We've got a couple more people waiting in the background. As always, it's good to chat with you, buddy. So get that revision done and then get yourself on the beach after that, yeah? But good answers. I like it. I thought he was going to go, being a kid. Oh, MG dub.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. He's thought about it. All right, Stoney, buddy. Good to see you. And we'll catch up soon, no doubt, bud.
All right. See you.
Cheers,
all the best. Cheers.
Good luck with everything, mate. Good luck.
Oh, good answers. Good answers. All right, let's get Lawson on. Let's see what he's got to say. Lawson, are you there, bud?
I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. I saw you having some connection troubles. Jumped in and out about 7 times.
Yeah.
Everything all right?
The mic and camera just started bugging out, and it's like, it is not working. And I was like, yes, it is working. So I had to keep jumping in and out, restart my phone.
Yeah, and just a quick shout out to the guys in the chat. If you want to come on, you don't need your camera on. Just as long as you got a mic, it's fine. If you're too ugly, like Lawson, you don't pick camera. Yeah. I'm joking. How are you, buddy? Everything well?
Yeah.
Good. All right, let's hit us with those questions. Well, with the answers to those questions then. What was your best moment of the season?
So I think the best moment for me was when we beat West Ham at home at the start of the season. It really set us off for a good start. Gave us hope. And there's another one, but it's kind of not as good as it. It didn't really mean as much. But when we come back from the World Cup and we had the most points in the first half of
that January time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was quite good as well.
And that was quite crucial. Those points we accumulated, I think, from when was it a draw with Chelsea that started it, if I remember rightly, all the way to the Leeds game. Those points were crucial to keeping us up, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. Okay. And what was your lowest / worst moment of the season? Where did it start?
It's got to be when we were winning at half time, 1 or 2-0, and there was just those few games where we'd lose in the second half, 2-0 up to 3-2 losing at the end.
The Bournemouth one.
Yeah. Then we did it against Fulham as well, where we were up.
It was back to back, wasn't it?
Yeah, that had me in tears almost.
Yeah, that was
watching, and it was just head in hands the whole game.
It was. Which one hurt you more, the Bournemouth or the Fulham one? Out of those two,
the Bournemouth one really, because at the time Bournemouth weren't doing great. They were lacking. Fulham we saw were doing quite well, and they were up there, so it didn't bother me as much. I was happy because we'd managed to sneak a goal or two in. Yeah. But the Bournemouth one hurt a bit more because they weren't doing as well.
Yeah. I did throw a few expletives, I remember, after that one. Dina, that one was a tough one to take, wasn't it?
Which one? Sorry.
The Bournemouth one.
That's my worst. That's my worst moment. I know because we're in control and then we just threw it away, didn't we? Completely threw it away.
Yeah.
Too many times this season.
Yeah, and they were one of the teams we'd all predicted to finish 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
God
to
damn it,
actually
man.
have that result against them was kind of a real, now this could be trouble.
Yeah. And listen, who's been your favorite player this season, or the player that stood out for you the most? I'm assuming I can guess by your profile picture, but you're gonna surprise
It's
us.
actually not. I love
Okay.
Jono. I love Jono, but it's kind of a bit of bias on the person that I like because I've met him quite a few times before. But Felipe, I think he's been a quality centre back. He's been.
Saying the word, man.
I think he's great. The man bun that didn't have to go, but it did. But no, Felipe is just one of my favourite centre backs for the club at the minute, and probably one of my favourite players.
Okay, hear me out, and I hope this doesn't sound too weird, right? But were you scared he lost his powers when he cut it off?
I remember I was sitting on the sofa and I was just scrolling through Twitter and I saw that that he'd cut it off, and I saw who'd done it, and I was just like, they're gonna get rid of his powers. Felipe is cracked with that man bun, and he's gonna lose it all. But thankfully, he didn't. So.
You know what, buddy? My eyesight's going at my age. So, when I saw that picture on social media, I thought it was holding a mouse.
What?
I honestly thought he got a mouse.
What?
I just thought he got a mouse, and I thought, what's he got a mouse for? And then I read it. Man, look at the picture first.
Yeah, look at the picture, man.
It's like when I take something like I'm putting up a piece of furniture or something, I look at the pictures without reading it.
Hey, that's true. Yeah, good old IKEA, isn't it?
Yeah. So I looked at this mouse being held up, and then I thought, what's this all about?
Okay.
I mean,
let's move on from that.
I'm just gonna have to see what you're seeing, but
Well,
I don't think I'm gonna be able to.
This. That's what I see.
Listen, if you ever see Felipe holding a mouse, it's time to call it a day, mate. You've got to, say the hair's gone and everything's gone. Call it a day at that stage, mate. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Listen, mate, it's been a pleasure having you on, buddy. We want to rattle through as many as we can. Great moments there. Great moments. And
good moments.
Yeah, we'll catch up with you soon, bud.
Hopefully.
Okay, all the best, matey.
Hey, you too. Bye.
Right.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, we got some Ez issues. I don't know where he is, man. Ez, are you there? Are you there, Ez?
You muted, bud.
I'm here, but it's fucking pointless, mate. Honestly, it keeps cutting out. You guys are on the lag for me. I'm listening to it back on YouTube, mate. To be honest, but I'll stick around if you want me to.
Stick around. I'll lean on Dino more. I guess.
On the ball.
Okay, I want to. So we talked about those things, but I do want to touch on that period, Dino, where we got to the Bournemouth, Fulham, the Leicester game. That's where it started really to get a little hairy would be the right word, I guess.
Yeah, thanks for using that word, but yeah, I agree.
I literally meant no fun with it, but look at the timing, yeah. But how are you feeling going into that stage? And guys in the chat, how was it for you in that period leading up to that fatal Leicester match? We got Sai here as well. You're right, bud. I guess he is.
Sorry, come to me in a bit. I'm just trying to sort my mic out at the moment. Sorry.
Okay,
all right, say hi when you're ready, mate. Say hi when you're ready. That period, you know, is horrible. As Lawson was just saying, that Bournemouth, Fulham, Leicester area.
Yeah, it was horrible. That was probably the only true point of the season where I thought we're not good enough for this league. We need to go down to the Championship again. That period there of those 3 runner games was just so horrendous. We weren't being trounced by big teams, you know. We're talking Leicester, Fulham, and Bournemouth. And we were outclassed in all those 3 games, especially the Leicester one. I mean, he was under a lot of pressure after the Leicester one, wasn't he? Steve Cooper. So
sorry,
that maybe was another of these catalysts for improvement.
Tim, every now and again he comes out with a gem. I'm here, but it's fucking pointless. As reminds me of Houghton. sorry, Dino. Sorry. Wait, and before we carry on, sorry, Eddie, thank you for the 199. I appreciate it, bud, for making a real channel. I appreciate it, but thank you. It's you guys that give us the support. We do appreciate that, and thank you to Cruise Official for subscribing as well. Sorry, Dino, Karen, you're making some outstanding points.
Those were the 3 games there against poor opposition. Was the only time when I thought, well, we're probably not cut out for this just yet. We might need to go down to come back up again with a stronger, because the way we came up was horrendous with 30 signings. I mean, it's not going to help anybody as it's starting. But
but for me,
I think that was the last major watershed. I know we had Arsenal a bit later on that trounced us, but Leicester turned us over that day. And I remember Brendan Rodgers was under severe pressure before that game, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then the day after he passed that baton on to Steve Cooper.
Yeah. Go on, Ez, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say, I think it was from a Bournemouth game onwards is when we kind of started questioning his tactics. Like, what's he saying at halftime? We went in 2-0 at halftime against Bournemouth. I remember saying at the time, but we didn't feel like a 2-0 performance, but we took our chances. And then second half come out and they make one change and we don't react to it. And I remember that day there was Colback and Lewis O'Brien warming up on the side, and we're expecting O'Brien to come on. Do you remember? And it brings on
you're right. Yeah.
So that's when we I think that's when we first started questioning his whether Cooper was really cut out for it. I'll be honest, it was something that we didn't expect when we were facing those 3. So those games in particular were ones where around the games around them we expected, okay, we might not pick up anything if we pick up anything at all. But those games we expect to at least get 2 home wins out of the Bournemouth and Fulham game, and then maybe a point away from home at Leicester. But to get the run of results that we did get and the performances, I think that's when questions first started being asked, certainly from my point of view.
You see, Martin's there saying double El Saka. I don't think there was nothing going into that Leicester game that was putting pressure on Cooper on that one. I think it was the actual Leicester game that kicked it all off. I mean, I'll be honest, I still hadn't turned at that stage. It was Wolves for me. Wolves was one of the worst performances that I watched, man. A Wolves team that had scored like 1 Premier League goal at the time, or so, 2, I think it was. And we went low block on them and we didn't push it. And then I know Jono got unlucky with the penalty and everything. That was the one for me that just pissed me off the most. That was probably my lowest point of the season, that Wolves game. It just drove me crazy, man. But it was, it was a bit of a dark period. And then the form started to turn a little. Just before we move on to the next phase of it, a couple of you guys are asking about Ant, the big man Ant. We have given him the summer off to recover from the hellacious season. He's getting old in his age, and he just needs a couple of weeks just to catch his breath and get some sleep. So, Ant, make sure you're resting up, buddy. We're looking forward to bringing you back on. So he is going to take a annual leave. What do they call it in the real world work? Annual leave. So he's on some annual leave at the moment.
He's on sabbatical. Tomorrow. He's coming to Chatsworth with me tomorrow. So I'm dragging him out and getting him some fresh air. And
you're having a date, a little guy's date.
Yeah.
Okay. Look after him. Make sure he sleeps well. Yeah.
He's giving his orders.
Wait, Ez, were you invited to this? I wasn't.
No. It's a secret squad.
Yeah, but listen, I can't imagine you two in Chatsworth.
I'd like the opportunity to refuse it, mate.
Right, okay. Would you both like to go to Chatsworth with me and Mylene tomorrow?
I would have said no until you said Mylene's coming, and now I'm interested.
Ez?
I'm busy, mate, but thanks for the offer.
Fuck you.
Chat, do you believe that invite was genuine, or should me and Ez should we just do something?
I'm not interested.
Oh,
We'll go
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Name it, bro.
yeah. We'll go to Matlock for the day, mate. We'll get the bikes up.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
bro, man. Pat. I saw your comment about Fareham School. That was my school I went to in Clifton. I understand you're a fellow Cliftonite that escaped. Well done.
No, I'm
Well
not
done.
laughing at you, jokes. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at him. I'm a little offended that you're taking Ant out, not me and Ev. Anyway,
You're not interested. You'd laugh at me if I'd have asked you two. You'd have both gone.
I would have liked the opportunity to laugh at you, though.
You'd have both laughed.
I feel that's been taken away from me. I really do. But anyway, you know what? I don't like you anymore. We're gonna bring someone
I'll say
younger
no.
and better looking onto the stream. I think that's the best way to do it. So,
Yeah, hello. I'm camera off today, by the way.
Chatsmouth tomorrow.
I wish Dino would turn his
Come
camera
to
off.
Chatsmouth tomorrow with me and Ant.
Oh, sorry, I've not been
Yeah,
watching the
carry on,
stream,
carry on.
so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
Carry on,
Dino
carry on.
is going on a secret date with Ant tomorrow.
Oh, is he?
And he'll
Fair
invite you, me, or Ez to it.
Join the club.
Anyway, how are you, Si?
Yeah, let's talk about Forest.
Let's
Yeah,
talk
no,
about
I'm
Forest.
good, mate. I'm good.
Yeah, mate, you join us as we get into that ugly period in and around that Bournemouth to Leicester Wolves game. Where
Yeah.
is your mind at around that time, Si?
Neither do we.
Um,
Neither do we.
Yeah, I mean, so I went to the Leicester game, went to the Wolves game, unfortunately, because they were some of the worst games of football I've ever seen in my life. Flipping hell, like that. If we talk about low moments, that Leicester game was probably the lowest moment for me personally. Yeah,
One sec, Si. Ez, shut up. You're lagging, man.
Ez, you're
like
on a
30
massive delay. I'm getting really confused about him.
Sorry, Si, before you rudely interrupted. Carry on.
To the chat.
There's no delay on my end, is there? Is it just
No,
said?
it's just him, man.
All
It's
right,
just
cool.
him.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I absolutely hate Leicester, but yeah, that was a low moment, and just getting taunted by the Leicester fans outside the stadium before the game, after the game, walking out the ground, just getting all sorts from the Leicester fans. Yeah, it was a dreadful evening. I just think that game we looked absolutely shocking. There was no backbone, there was no fight. The goals would go flying in so easily. We had to suffer the Leicester goal music every flipping time they scored. It was just horrendous. I think the only bright spot looking back on it was Serge Aurier. That was the first time I think he played for us. Because he came on after half time and he looked so good. He was like the one positive. Because before that game, I was thinking, Serge Aurier will never play. He'll be a backup to Nico Williams. But after that game, we were saying, start Serge Aurier. And I think after that game, he started starting. So that was probably
he
one
found
good
himself
moment.
in that game, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that was the first time he played for us, to be honest. But that was probably the only good point out of that game. And as you said, there's massive fallouts.
What were you thinking about Lodi at the time? Because I remember he was starting to divide the fan base up, especially after the Leicester game, because he was crap at the Leicester game, let's be honest. And there was a lot of people saying, get rid, put Tuffalo in.
Yeah, well, we weren't those people, were we? I was defending Lodi. I'm pretty sure you were defending Lodi. A lot of us were defending Lodi. I'm trying to think. So that game was it the 1st of October? I think that game. Yeah. So I think Lodi made his debut in the Bournemouth game, didn't he? At home. I can't quite remember. But early on he was shocking, wasn't he? And I think that game he just kept getting. He just kept getting done.
City game. He debuted at the Man City game.
Okay.
That was it. It was Man City. Then he kind of came in and out over the Bournemouth and Fulham game. He was definitely at the Man City game because I remember thinking, he's going to score a hat trick.
He nearly scored as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it looked in from my angle, man.
Yeah.
I was in there and celebrating, man. Yeah. Start coming back.
Yeah, no, Lodi. He just kept getting beaten so easily. He kept getting done by just. Was it when people kept fake shooting and he would just commit?
Yeah.
He would just slide in and they'll just go around him.
Yeah.
I remember that happening quite a lot at that Leicester game. So and Wolves was just awful. But we should have got a point at that Wolves game. I mean, shocking game. 2 penalties given by VAR as well after long waits. The Wolves away end was just shit. It's probably the worst away end I've ever been to because the away fans are stretched so thinly. it's hard to get an atmosphere built up in that because the rows are only a few rows back. But yeah, then they had some caretaker manager at that point, so I think we missed out. The great thing now is though, once we stayed up, all of these things don't matter anymore. Like all of these things don't matter. The McKenna passing it back to the Bournemouth player, it doesn't matter anymore because we've stayed up. But if we didn't stay up, we would have. Yeah.
Can you remember the Freuler passing one across the midfield to?
That was Brentford. That was Brentford. Do you know why I remember that?
Yeah.
Do you know I remember that? No, it was not because of that. Because literally, I turned to Ant 1 minute later, before that. Literally 1 minute before. I was like, Freuler's had a cracking game, man. He's not put a foot wrong. I'm
Jinx a ring, strikes again.
About. Yeah, and then literally, he does that hospital pass. I'm there like, Ant's going to punch me now.
That was actually the most stupid pass I've ever seen in football.
No, McKenna's was worse. McKenna's was
well, yeah. But the funny thing about McKenna's one, I knew he was going to do that. You could just sense it. Before he did it. I think that game we should have just held out for a draw. We kept pushing for a win. But to be fair,
they were low down. Bournemouth weren't good then, man.
Yeah, it's just a new manager bounce, isn't it? Like we saw that game as our must-win game because we thought that was the easiest game of the season.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a shocking. I was ill that day as well, and I was stuck in the Upper Trent. It's just horrendous next to all the kids and stuff. So I had to like sort of watch my language a bit as well up there. A bit different to where I'm used to normally in the stadium, but yeah, it's just leaving the ground that day. That was a low point as well. I mean, there was a lot of low points around that time, but that was definitely a low point. And there was a walking past Trent Bridge, and all the Bournemouth fans at Trent Bridge just taunting us. That was horrible, man. Horrible.
I can't stand them. But then we move forward, Dino, into that little period. Now, I'll admit that Brighton game. It was Brighton next where we drew 0-0 with them. It was probably one of the most boring football matches I've ever watched. It was like there was no intention. There was no intention of attacking at all from us.
No,
but. You look back at it now and you think, was that a trigger point? And guys in the chat, what do you think? Was that a trigger point for a turn? Because then that took us into the Liverpool match as well, into that kind of October period coming towards the World Cup.
I think there've been
I'll be back in 2 minutes. So you and Si just...
Yeah, I don't know what you think, Si, but I think there's been many trigger points throughout the season. There's not been one thing that's changed our fortunes forever. There's just been many ones. I mean, the Brighton one, really, we had no intention of really attacking that, did we? But
no, I was fine with that, to be honest. Yeah, I was absolutely fine with it.
Yeah, the point when you look back at it from where we were and what sort of beatings we were getting prior to that was a key point there. So that was a key. And then, I don't know how we found that next game, Si, against Liverpool, that win. I mean, it from the Wolves and Leicester games only a couple of weeks before that, it was a massive difference, wasn't it, that Liverpool game?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't surprised we won the Liverpool game. Liverpool's one of these teams like Arsenal. We've got a good record against them.
Yeah,
I wasn't overly surprised we won that game, especially at that time. Liverpool was shocking away from home around that time. But yeah, just going back to the Brighton game, I was absolutely buzzing with that result. I remember celebrating like it was a win. Yeah, I was celebrating like it was a win that game because, as you said, around that time we didn't look like we were going to pick up any points. I was sort of eyeing up the Derby record. I was thinking to myself, if you offered me at this point, just to beat Derby's record, but come last and get relegated, I would probably take it because I don't know if you remember at that point, it just didn't look like we could pick up any points at all.
No, certainly away. It just seemed impossible, didn't it? And
even at home, because that's after we lost to Bournemouth, lost to Fulham. Yeah. You're thinking, where are these points coming from? Especially because the West Ham game, we sort of fluked it a bit, didn't we? But yeah, going back to the Liverpool game, great atmosphere again, great win. Trying to think of all the things that happened. Yeah, obviously Hendo played a massive part in that game. Yeah, that was a really good day. I think after that day, we were out the relegation zone, weren't we? Or close to it? Because I remember at that point, I was thinking we can stay up now. Because before that,
we'd also got a draw at home against Philly, didn't we? In that sort of
I've forgotten about that game.
And then,
yeah.
And then we went to come back to earth with a thump against Arsenal away, which was.
I wasn't overly surprised about that, to be honest.
No.
I know some people were shocked about it. I might have predicted 5-0 to Arsenal, to be honest, in that game.
Yeah. But to be fair, they were in a rich vein of form then and really pushing for the league. So, yeah, I mean, it was a write-off that game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Were you there, Si, at the Arsenal?
No, I wasn't. No, you were there, weren't you?
Mate, it was horrible.
Yeah,
I couldn't do that
because your son's an Arsenal fan. So,
mate, I like after that one, I vowed not to go to another away game because I was just killing us. I was 0 for 11 in 2 away games. I was like, I can't. People start killing me if we lose another one 5-0 and stuff. But that one was off the back of. Let me just scroll it up because there's a game where we'd just beaten Liverpool. That was it. Here it is on the screen.
Wolverine, there was a Villa game we spoke about as well, which we completely forgot about.
I think that was after, wasn't it?
We talked. No, that was before.
It was after Leicester.
Yeah, there it was. That was still in October. That was the stupid Ashley Young, the player I called out, calling him Ashley Old.
Oh, that's another one. That's another one.
He's really old and he scores a bounce.
They're adding up, aren't they? Yeah.
The best goal he scored in his career. You remember?
I got so much stick from the Villa fans on that one, man. Shut up, Pat. Shut up. Freaking Pat, man. Yeah, that was rather annoying. And I called out Adama Traore for the Wolves, and he got the penalty there.
Yeah, there's kind of a bit of a theme going on here, mate. And next season, you're definitely barred.
No, we're in a good position because he just needs to do what he did against Arsenal and just praise all their players, and then we win.
Apart from Ben Shite, can I still call him Ben Shite? Can I still call him Ben Shite?
Jinxerino,
yeah.
You see, he got this name for you now, bud. I mean, there's no letting it go.
Just stop, chat. Seriously, this is turning into abuse. Seriously, it's abuse.
Were you slagging off what's his name? That Leicester reject guy. What's his name? Gray. Did you slag him off because he scored against us for Everton?
Maybe. He was like my secondary slag. My main pure focus was on Mope, man, for the Everton one.
Yeah, but he was.
I didn't slag him off in the first game. That wasn't my fault.
Okay.
That was Worrell and Nico Williams' fault. It had nothing to do with me, man. No, but yeah, he was only a secondary slag for me on that one, man. but yeah, you know that Brentford game though. Just as we're rolling through these, because that was the Brentford into the Spurs game. This is quite a good period because although I was annoyed,
yeah,
but we should have won that Brentford game. We absolutely dominated them for that first half. But this was the Cook period, man. Can we talk about the Cook period here? This is where I was losing my mind with Steve Cook playing. And every opponent was just feeding balls in over the top of it. I remember Leicester were doing it all game. Brentford
Leicester,
were doing it all game. They were like statues. Him and I remember it was the Brentford one where they played the ball over and then he dinked Tendo, didn't he, to go 2-1 up.
Yeah,
that was just like, for me, that was one of the most frustrating things where I think most of the fans could see it with Cook. He was too slow. He's a good defender. He's just not got the pace to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just costing us goal after goal after goal, man.
Let me just say one name to you. Loic Bardet. And he was at the club. He was sitting in the stands watching all of that. And what's he done?
He's a unit, and he's just picked.
Yeah, he's an absolute unit.
And
we were all calling for it. We were all calling for him to play. We were all saying, "Get Bardet to play." There were other fans slagging him off. Yeah.
So you were seeing it early that Cook didn't have the pace. I've seen Bardet plenty in the French league, and you've seen him as pace. He's chiseled up as well, and it's like, why couldn't we have tried him out? But you're right. I personally would have played Bardet in the middle, but it's hindsight.
He would have been good for us, I think. Yeah, he would have been good for us.
Yeah, but a lot of people would say back to you, if we didn't get rid of Bardet, we wouldn't have got Felipe. I don't know how much.
That's absolute nonsense. I saw that earlier as well. I don't understand that logic because what is that? I don't get how that makes sense. Because we would have. They were saying we wouldn't have got Felipe, but this is complete two independent things. Felipe came in the January window. we had all of the summer window to the January window period to play Bardet. I don't get how that stops us getting Felipe, because we would have just brought Felipe in because Bolly and McKenna got injured.
The only thing I can think, Si, is that certain things this season. I mean, Cooper doesn't suffer falls, so we've seen it with Shelby, we've seen it with Dennis, we've seen it with O'Brien. There's certain things that has been rumored to have happened at the club that goes against the grain, and these players get frozen out, and you just wonder whether it was something with Bardet as well, because he's obviously
there wasn't.
He doesn't look like someone that would have caused trouble though. I don't know him, but looking at him, he seems
he's
like
only got to go with his onions around his neck and his stripy shirt on and going, "Oh, Mr. Cooper,
Biancone as well."
What I would say
is this whole French embargo,
yeah. What I would say is, like, when he was at Forest, he had that weird afro, and now he's got this nice haircut. He looks a lot more athletic, doesn't he? Yeah.
More streamlined. Oh yes, his camera's frozen. Someone screenshot him, please.
Too late. No, there's chance. Too late.
It's still there. Chance still there. Yeah, but it was weird. I think a lot of us saw that coming, and Biancone as well at the time. It just wasn't.
I'm really looking forward to seeing him again, Biancone. He's been working so hard in the gym, hasn't he? He's been really, really fighting hard.
He came on in the Brighton game, didn't he? For like 5 minutes.
And he scored, didn't he?
Yeah. And he was. I think
I saw a stat. He's only played about 16 minutes of Premier League football, I think.
Pretty much. Yeah, because he came on against Man City for like 5 minutes at the end.
Yeah.
And I think he went into the back three and Worrell went into the middle, if I remember rightly. And then he came on for the last 5+ injury time against Brighton and played at right back. So he is quite versatile in his positioning. I like him. I haven't seen as much of him in previous leagues as I saw, say, Bardet, for example. But I think he's young as well. I've been watching his series. It's quite interesting. I don't know if you lot have caught up on it on YouTube at all. It's a bit annoying because it's all in French and it's got subtitles, but it shows you his journey on his recovery, and it's quite interesting. I'm sure some of the guys in the chat have seen it as well. But yeah, it's quite a good one if you got time and watch it.
Yeah, I mean, where do you think he's going to play for us then?
Oh, chat. What would you do with Bardet Biancone next season? What would you do? Dino? Would you play him?
Right back cover. He's also central defender cover, isn't he? But right back cover, I think.
You wouldn't start him.
Where is he? Number 3? I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, we've only really got, I don't know, one more season with Aurier probably before he. I don't know. He looks dead fit, man. I think he can play, but will he play a full season out? I don't know.
Who's talking about Aurier now?
It's good when you've got a squad that size and there's not a lot of youth in there, because we've got to bear in mind that, the under 21 rule. Is it under 21?
Yeah, under 21.
Right, so we've not actually got that many left now.
No.
So
they're pushed up. Yeah.
So unless we start signing some youth to bring in, then we can't have those spare players. So the likes of Biancone might be useful because he can play in multiple positions.
It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I don't think we've seen enough of him at all.
Of injuries. Do you know what I mean? We do seem to be injury prone, so he's definitely a good versatile player, I would say.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can bring in some medical staff, because I don't know if I saw something that said we didn't actually have a proper doctor or something. Was that bullshit?
Yeah, head physio. We've had no head physio
all season.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. There's a lot of things that we need to improve on, to be honest, in terms of the infrastructure of the club. And, I can go on and on, but Luton will probably find this season. Yeah. You don't get much time between winning the playoff final and going into the Premier League. And I think they're really going to struggle this season, to be honest. We got away with it.
They'll have more time than we did.
Okay. Yeah, but have you seen the state of their infrastructure?
Yeah, but they might go MK Dons. That might actually help them if they did that.
Nah, that won't help them. That will kill them, I think.
As in, it will help them financially if they were to do that. But who cares? They're going down anyway. So, okay.
I just hope we get a shirt sponsor. To be honest, I just hope we get a shirt sponsor. Get a flipping sleeve sponsor. Get a short sponsor. I know people had a go at me for saying this before, but it's just extra income. Why would you turn down 500 grand or whatever for putting a logo on the side of your shirt? Every little
Agreed.
counts, mate.
Agreed. Randoms, thanks so much for the £2, buddy. He says, is our training causing these mass injuries? It's a really good question, and the honest answer is we don't know, because we don't get to see much of it. However, a lot of these injuries did happen on the training grounds. Not all of them were on the pitch. The Biancone one, for example, there was rumors, I think, if I remember rightly, people saying Lingard was the one who cleaned him out and did his leg. And again, don't know if that's true or not, but I remember, I'm pretty sure that's what the rumors were knocking around. But I just think, for me, I think the ones that we saw getting injured, which were muscle injuries, can happen from the tactics. There's so much running around we're having to do, chasing the ball in low block scenarios. Maybe it's that. I don't know. It's above our level of knowledge, I guess, is probably the honest answer on it.
Hey, Si, at least you'll get a good trip to a really unusual away stadium at Luton.
Well, I don't think I'll get a ticket to that one. We didn't get like an allocation of 1,000 or something, don't we?
If that.
Are you all right to stay on, Si?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Let's bring Maddie on. Let's get Maddie asked the 3 questions here. So, how are you, Maddie? How you doing, bud?
I'm alright. My mic might not be working. I haven't been able to check it, so
it's working.
It might be good.
Nice one.
Okay, good.
It's good, mate. It's good. Maddie, let's get these questions rattled through, buddy. So, give us your highlight of the season. What was your best moment, mate?
Oh, there's a lot of them because if they're quite scattered around because of divs. But I think Liverpool was a big one because we had that Brighton result, 0-0, our best result in ages, and then suddenly we just beat Liverpool at home, who got runner-up the year before. And I remember that was the only game I was in Nottingham for, and it was so exciting, and I was actually around fans for once. There wasn't just my dad. So it was really nice, and it was very. It was like you were in the stadium, even though you weren't in the stadium because of drinks everywhere. It was so ridiculous, and I don't think I've had a moment like that for the rest of the season.
That was the pinnacle one, was it?
Yeah, just because I don't live in Nottingham, so I don't get to go to games as often, or even just in the area as often, because obviously I don't live there.
Yeah. That's good, man. Young fans out of Nottingham. I love that we're spreading the love.
I should be getting a membership, though, for this year, so I can go to a couple home games. Fingers crossed, though, because I know they go out very quickly.
They're going to be like hotcakes, aren't they? Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, mate. What was your
Have you got
lowest
booking
point?
history?
No, I've got none. My dad might have some from years back from when we used to go.
You need that for the membership.
I think we're gonna go for bronze ones because you don't need them.
No, you do, mate.
Oh, do you? Oh,
yeah.
Well,
and there's his lowest moment of the season, ladies and gents. Thanks for
Sorry,
breaking a young person's heart.
We're gonna have to just go through some stuff, whether it's cell and kidneys to get the second-hand ones.
If you keep an eye on Facebook, they usually have people selling them.
Yeah, I think they are changing it. So I saw on before the website they're limited only to members. I think they're changing it this year to if there's any seats left, it goes to general public. I don't think they did that at all this season, which I don't know why, because it meant there was some seats.
Because it's sold out, yeah. Just a quick shout out to Chapo. Thank you so much for coming to Super Radio. Absolute legend, Chapo. Appreciate it, bud. That was gifted to him by the legend that is Randoms. Randoms, you're way too generous. So Chapo, make sure you show Randoms some love for his absolute generosity. All right, Maddie, hit us with the worst moment apart from the one side just hit you.
I think I already said it in chat. It's Leicester 4-0. I don't need to question that. We're coming off the back of those previous 2 games. They were bad enough. Oh my God, I remember I was out all day. I couldn't look at the scores because it was like a fancy like family event. And then I look at my phone at the as soon as I go out, and we're 2-0 down, and we're like 20 minutes in, and it was just It was
Didn't
defeating.
Iwobi miss an absolute sitter as well at the start? Was it that match at the start of the match?
He
was
he
through
hit
on
the
goal.
post. It wasn't really a sitter.
I didn't
but
see that until the highlights, the extended highlights on Match of the Day, and I remember just like sinking into my sofa. My dad, we already had like used all our tissues the day prior, and we just didn't have anything. We were just using the toilet paper and everything just to wipe our tears. It was so bad.
Cool. All right. And who's been your favourite player this year, Maddie?
I think first half Yatesy, but whatever was it like a health condition or whatever he's had?
We don't know. It's not been. It's not
Yeah,
been
he's
put
been
out
in
the
and out
public.
because I remember he had that amazing sister Everton, and we thought that he was back in, but then he
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
the one
actually
for
back in.
Jono, yeah.
It's been really confusing.
He's
So
had shoulder
it would have been
issues as
him.
well, hasn't he?
Yeah, if he'd stayed in the rest of the season, easy my favourite player, but because he's just been out. But for overall consistency and actually playing throughout the entire season, Gibbs White, because even though he's not been great away, as you've said, but
Yeah.
when he's had his moments, which is a lot of the time, he's been fantastic. And the main thing is he hasn't been injured. He's a good consistent player that hasn't been injured, which we haven't had a lot of this entire season, and we've had him the entire season. So, and I think he was definitely worth the 25 mil, or not the 45 mil, which everyone
30 now. We gave him an extra 5 because we stayed up.
yeah.
So 30 at the moment.
Not 45 mil. Oh, I think
Nah,
what
it's
was
not.
that for? I don't remember what that was
5
for.
extra mil was
with-
given because we stayed up, I believe, Dino, isn't that right?
Yeah, but that would get it like 30 mil. It wouldn't get to the 45 mil.
Like,
yeah,
there's
it's
stuff
still
like
on the
England
right one.
call-ups and
Yeah,
stuff.
it'd be higher positions, and
Oh,
if he reaches so
right,
many goals,
okay.
so many assists, be all sorts of stuff like
Europe.
that.
Qualifying for
Yeah,
Europe or something, yeah.
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 If
Cool.
he runs across Trembridge naked, all that sort of stuff. I love Laurie Knox's. I know you put it up already, but that's a 2-in-1. That's got to be the best.
That was really good.
That was a
That's
great
was really
moment.
clever. I like that.
It is very smart, very smart. Laurie, she's a smart little cookie. Cool, Maddie. As always, it's a pleasure having you on,
Oh,
bud.
thank you.
Good picks, and
Yeah.
if you don't get the bronze one, let us know, and then Sai will get you one.
I'll try my
because
best,
he-
but
he
we'll
broke
see
your
what
heart
happens.
there.
We know how difficult it is.
Cool. All right, Maddie. I'll catch you later,
All right,
bud.
cheers.
Cheers,
All right,
mate.
Definitely. Stop pimping Sai out, Wolverine.
I'm not. I'm just saying, Sai, you broke his heart, mate.
She actually did.
You got to learn from the young age, and life sucks, man. Life sucks.
We did
All right, so let's get into that period after the World Cup, because that's where it got quite interesting. Do you know? We won't talk about the Man U game because I hate them, but it was those ones come out. Let me bring this up so if the chat wants to remember where we got to, because there was the Blackburn game which you won in the cup. That was a good game. I think for me, it really started to kick off, and we were seeing really good signs from the Chelsea game, but in particular the second half, Dino, of that game.
Yeah, you kind of miss quite a key area there.
What did I
leading
miss?
up
The
to
World
that.
Cup.
Well, you've got Tottenham 2-0.
You missed the
beating
Palace game as well, haven't you? Yeah.
Palace
All right, I've
1-0.
skipped 2 minutes. All right, fine. I mean,
Yeah,
we don't have to go
let's
through
just
them
wrap
all
all
one by
that
one.
into one. Let's just wrap all that into one.
So,
So
right, give us
after
a little synopsis on it, Dino.
Well, after the Brentford 2-2, Tottenham 2-0, Palace 1-0, and the cup game against Blackburn 4-1 away, which was nice to see an away win. Yeah, the Chelsea game, the only sort of dark spot in that whole area was Man United. They just, I know they're going to be our bogey team from now on. What, they beat us 4 times this season?
I don't want to
4
talk about
times we
Man U.
didn't score a single goal.
Convincingly. So, but I don't really care, whether they're our bogey team or not. They're not really our target at the minute, are they?
No.
But yeah,
They're my
I was getting
target.
excited at that point, and we were reaching some heady heights, weren't we? We started to sort of climb the league a little bit.
Well, okay, before we
And
jump to the
relegation at
Chelsea
that
game,
point
Dino,
felt a little bit like, there's a whole
let me
period
ask
there
you
that's
this
quite
question,
good.
Dino. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to keep it a bit chronological because we forgot the World Cup. I'll ask you both this, but I'll start with you. Did the World Cup help or hinder Forest? Guys in the chat, write in help or hinder in the chat. What do you think, Dino?
I think it hindered. We went in reasonable form, didn't we?
That's a fair point.
I think it hindered us. It was just coming at the wrong time for us.
It's hard to say, isn't it? I think most pundits out there, because they don't watch Forest, they would say the World Cup helps to keep us up because the players had more time to gel. But as Dino said, we were in good form before the World Cup. But then saying that, we were in good form after the World Cup as well.
Outside of
So I
that
don't-
Man U game, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think I don't think it really affected us, to be honest.
I kind of think it helped us. Should I
Mm.
tell you why? Injuries.
No
there
one
was
came back
quite-
though, did they?
We had, or did we just gain injuries? Czech Kyoto came back injured. Oh, you know what it was? No, you're right. You know what it was? We just kept getting told that Niakate would
Yeah,
be
that's
fit
it.
after the
Yeah.
World Cup, wasn't it? And it never happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I
But
don't know.
Mate, one good thing about the World Cup was it gave us a chance to just stop being stressed. Because we were so stressed watching Forest
Mate.
before that. It gave us a chance to watch a bit of football without any sort of pressure, or we could just sit back and relax and watch a bit of football.
You can all watch.
I
me
mean,
smile
England were
through it.
absolute crap again. I don't know why the media keeps saying that Southgate's done so well, because he was shocking. Again, I absolutely hate Southgate, but that World Cup was shocking. Like, we should have easily beaten that French team.
I've
then we
screwed the World
fucked it
Cup,
again.
man. That's the whole other.
That's bringing me back memories of the World Cup now. Yeah, but no, as I said, it's most watching those group games or whatever, it's just a bit of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
bit
put it as a poll because loads of you were answering help or hinder. I'm interested to see which way you guys are leaning. At the moment, 67% are saying help. So get your votes in on there.
You should put an option for didn't affect, I think.
Yeah, I went to do that and then I accidentally pressed enter and it just put the poll up. So
You should have. The next poll should be: is Dean smelling his finger or not right now? I'm actually leaving that one up.
Okay.
See the first one who notices.
David makes a cracking point here. Johnson. Before the World Cup, he wasn't Johnson of the season before. And after the World Cup, that's where he started to click, didn't he? It was that Chelsea game where he got the assist. Who scored that one? Was it Awani? I can't remember now.
Which one's that, sorry?
Chelsea draw at the City ground.
Serge Aurier.
Oh, that was the corner. Wasn't it? Yeah. But it was around that time where Jono started to find a little bit of form, wasn't it? At the Chelsea one, he didn't level the ball. He didn't level the ball across. And then he did at the Southampton one. And that's where he kicked on. And he scored a couple against Blackpool. It's all coming back to me now. I
was at the Blackburn game. I think before the Blackburn game, I think Johnson was crap. Well, he wasn't playing very well. Because I remember at the Blackburn game, I was thinking he's not, before that game, I was thinking he's struggling a bit. But then that game, he scored 2 goals, I think. And I think maybe he got some confidence from that.
Yeah, because there was all this talk about was Jono holding back for the World Cup before the World Cup. What do you reckon now? And what do you guys reckon in the chat as well? Do you think he was holding back for the World Cup? Dino? No.
Sorry.
No, Chris. No. Dino, do you think Jono was holding back for the World Cup a bit?
No, I don't believe that. Not in that position. I think just I think when you may be playing in a midfield role or a defensive role, and you're not probably going in for that full-blown tackle that you'd normally do. But I don't believe so. I think it actually did him good being in that environment with so many world-class players. I think that probably helped him when he got back, rather than him bottling it before.
What do you think, Sid? Do you agree with that?
I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? Maybe it's his first time he's played in the Premier League. It's not an easy league. You expect people to take a bit of time to get used to it.
Yeah,
I can see why people were saying maybe he was saving himself for the World Cup. I don't know, because I don't know what Jono. I don't know what he places more importance on, playing for Wales in the World Cup or playing for Forest. I don't know.
Mate, he was playing in League One 2 seasons ago, so we've got to cut him a bit of slack,
Yeah, of course. But maybe if he was, you can see why he would be, worried about getting injured before the World Cup, because obviously the World Cup comes around every 4 years. Big opportunity for him. But I think he didn't play much, did he, in the World Cup anyway? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thomas,
It is
calm down, Thomas. None of us here said that he didn't. We just said that was the questions being asked around the time, bro. So sorry, bro. Breathe. None of us. Have
We
said
literally
it.
just said, yeah, he probably took a bit of time to get used to it.
Yeah, just
This is a
calm
good
down, bro.
point
Calm
as
down.
well by Phil.
Jono playing deep too much overseas and defo forward right only.
I
Not
mean,
sure.
as we progressed into this period, we were actually going a bit more progressive, weren't we? Before, it was just like Custer's last stand for a lot of the games that were in early season.
For me, it was the Chelsea one, Dino. The second half against Chelsea. I think in the first half, we paid them too much respect.
Yeah.
And then the second half, we came out. And I would argue that outside of the Spurs Cup match, that was probably the best football we've played all season in terms of we really were pressing them. It was really nice to see.
Yeah.
And I was hoping we'd kick on from that.
Imagine
How many
that volley.
points?
Imagine that if that volley went in, that Gibbs White hit. Do you no? Was it a volley or half volley? Yeah, I don't think it was a volley, but do you remember he hit the crossbar? I think.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
That was
Yeah,
beautiful strike. Yeah. But yeah, I know what you're saying. That second half, we looked good. That second half.
I wonder how many points are going to be responsible for extra points for us next season, where there's not much respect for these clubs because we've already done it and played them all.
That's what
It was such a crap goal to give away, wasn't it?
Games.
Their one
Especially
was the
early on.
Sterling John. Again, yes, I know I called him out. That was off the
that's
bar,
another
off
one.
Lodi and into the net, wasn't it? It was like such a bad goal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was turning though. I remember coming out of that match thinking, man, I wish we went for them in the first half. We could, or even more so in the second half. I reckon we could have beaten them because they were.
Yeah, no, but I think this was before we realised how crap Chelsea were. Because I don't think they were that bad. I don't think they were that bad at that time.
That is true. And then the Leicester game again. No, was it the Leicester game after? I've lost where we were. So Southampton, Chelsea. We beat Southampton. I didn't think it was a great performance, to be honest.
No, but that was another bit of a turning point for me. That
we won
away
away.
win. You know.
Yeah, we were.
Although I think
were up to.
It should have probably beat us or drawn. You know, we did snatch that one.
We were up to like 15th or something after that game.
Yeah, it was the heady heights, wasn't it? Season?
Not used to it.
And laughing at everyone below us. Little did we know.
Yeah. Is that where it started, Stoney? The toilet saga. Did I go to the toilet and the goal happened? I can't remember. You guys are weird.
Yes, that's
Maya
right.
coming in, bit of luck. Agent Scott. Ooh, I'll take him coming in. Okay, so into that period, and then there was the draw with Wolves that was in the League Cup. So we were having that League Cup run as well. That's something we need to cover. Where we got to.
You're just skipping over the Blackpool game then.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the Blackpool game.
Well, the Blackpool
that was embarrassing, wasn't it? That was embarrassing. Yeah, but where Blackpool now? They're in League One.
Yeah, but it just shows the lack of strength in our second team.
I don't agree.
That game for me, I lost hope with some of our players.
Yeah,
specifically Sam Surridge.
Big Sam, he missed. He could have actually come away from that game with like 6 goals.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
And then Dennis missed a sitter as well, didn't he? From Scarpa's beautiful slip through. Yeah. I don't want to talk about that game. I want to get onto the positive.
We definitely had players good enough to win that game. But to be honest, I was glad we were out the cup because, we wanted to focus on the Premier League.
Yeah, I didn't even care about the League Cup, as you all know, I called it the Mickey Mouse Cup. But it was fun to do Wolves on the penalties.
Yeah, that was good.
And then I can't remember what happened in the semi-finals. That doesn't matter.
Then we had Leicester at home.
This one's the one I want to talk
to
you boys about. This one, we played. The first half was really bad. Like Leicester, isn't this the one where Barnes missed a couple of absolute sitters?
Oh yeah. And we thought he was crap, but he's actually scored quite a lot of goals this season.
Yeah, he's got like 12 goals. Hasn't
he would be on my hit list to take. He would on the left, but yeah, he missed a couple of absolute howlers, didn't he?
Oh, that's my girlfriend's brother. Shout out to Chun.
Hey, how you doing?
Hope you're well. Yeah, but he was, and then when Chappie keeps telling us how good he is, I just think back to those. They were blatant misses, man, weren't they?
Yeah, they're awful.
And you just felt we were going to win that game, Dino, because was that the Jono double?
Yeah,
in that game.
Yeah.
The one where he was offside, but he wasn't offside, and he thought he was offside round the keeper.
Offside,
It was
not
that one,
offside.
wasn't it? That was a fantastic goal. That one was. But what was the second goal? I can't remember it.
Well, the second goal was the beautiful finish. Jono running in on the right and then just across the
Was
keeper.
that the through ball from MGW, the outside of his boot on the right hand side?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was
That
a
was
good goal.
very nice.
That was a good goal. So it was
Even
starting
no, but to be
turn
fair,
here, wasn't it?
even that game we made it difficult for ourselves because Hendo went down injured, and he was injured playing, and we were like, for God's sake, and we ran out of substitutes. So even that game, we were making life hard for ourselves.
I remember I remember you guys were doing the halftime report, and all three of you from different sides of the ground were saying at halftime, neither team had been playing well. It was
Shocking first half.
Yeah, it was turning into a bit of a half performance for Forest. Luckily, it was going our way, but it just
we
felt
didn't score
something
till
was
late
building.
on. I mean, Jono scored quite late on.
Yeah, no, it was really late. It was really late. The second goal was like really late, yeah, because before that we were still holding on 1-0.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first game we won a game not 1-0 in the Premier League.
Can I just say, Chucker, there you go. There's the evidence, right? That I singled Barnes out and he couldn't score. Thank you very much, Chucker, for reminding everyone of that one. Thank you. But I kind of want to talk about this in a bit of phase, okay, boys? Because we had the Leicester game, we had the Bournemouth game, screw the Man U game, and then the Leeds game. So these games here started to almost form the foundations of our season in terms of the points tally we came in. And going through these games, Dino, were you starting to feel that it was almost easy? Because we got up to, I think, 13th, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, that's the highest we've been, I think.
And we were 7, if not 8 points clear of the drop zone. And guys in the chat, at this stage, were you kind of looking more up or were you looking down? Just right up or down at this stage. Where was your head at around this time of the season, Dino?
I was looking proper up because I went to the Wolves game at home and we absolutely battered them. And then they got a second half goal and we kind of felt really disappointed coming away from that. And I think at that point, although we were still kind of low blocking,
you got way ahead of yourself, man.
Where are you?
I mean, I'm up. We're only going up to Leeds now. So that Leeds
away?
No, home. Leeds home, Bournemouth away, Leicester at home. That period where we started picking up some points.
I mean, Leeds at home. I remember, what's our ex-player called? He's absolute dog shite.
Bamford again called him out and he didn't score. I want that on the record, please, chat.
Yeah. I mean, Nonto tore us apart that day.
Not until Sergeant Aurier came on.
Yeah.
Sergeant Aurier came, yeah. Which was actually a really good.
Why did Williams start that game? What was that about?
I don't know, because it's almost like they'd not watched Nonto.
Serge was injured, Si.
Yeah.
He was coming back off an injury.
Yeah, but he still
was he? Fair enough.
Him, didn't he?
Yeah, he still came on, didn't he?
Everything came. Remember the heat map? Everything came down that left, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was the goal again from Jono, wasn't it? The edge of the box goal. This was when Jono was in that hot vein of form.
Yeah.
That goal was ridiculous, wasn't it? No, that was right in front of me because I was front row just by the thing. As soon as he was about to hit it, I was like, "That's going in." Like I could sense that was going to go in, and just nestled right in the corner.
It was a clean, lovely volley.
Yeah.
Chuck, I can confirm on the 18th of November I will be 22. Shut up, NJ. I'm not still a jinx. Honestly, you chat are horrible tonight. I don't like them. Ez, sort them out. Ez, start blocking some of them. And then this was the next period.
Wolverine, this was.
Go on.
No. Let's stay on this period a bit more. I think.
Okay.
Is there anything of note? Because we've skipped right to the last game you mentioned.
Well, we had the draw with Bournemouth, where your boy Sam Surridge scored.
Oh yeah, and then I had people telling me that I've been proven wrong because I've been calling Surridge out. I've not seen him since.
You know what? For those in the chat that are skulking around, I absolutely just makes me laugh that we call a player out after them having a bad game, and we've got to apologise to them further down the line. How
Yeah.
ridiculous! You guys sit
They
in the
scored
pub,
one goal.
slagging these people off with your mates. Yeah, it's not all right for us to do, is it? No, we've got to go beg and apologise. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry, Mr. Lingard. I'm very sorry, Mr. Cooper, that I didn't like your tactics early season. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I was wrong. I was wrong to say you were shit, and now you're good. Fuck that. You do it with your mates down the pub. Oh. Anyway,
it's true. No, I'm sorry.
It's true.
Yeah, you know what cracks me up? You know what cracks me up is like
I would an apology.
No, screw the apology. I ain't got to the apology. It's the fact that would insinuate that the person who is asking you to apologize has never thought a player has had a crap game in their life in any year of wearing a Forest shirt, and it just you just think really.
Yeah.
Should we go back and have a look? You know,
being a football fan.
It's just all about opinions,
Otherwise,
as we
it'd be
said. We just say
boring,
what,
wouldn't
we
it?
just say what we see. If we think someone's not doing well, we just call it. Not call it out, but we just say what we think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, and you'd understand it as well if, let's say, who's been crap. Like Worrell was crap all season, and then he gets a hot form towards the end.
I love him at the end. It's brilliant.
But then we say he's played well, and it's like, oh no, you said he was crap. Therefore, give him a shout, call him up. It's like, could you imagine Worrell or a Lingard or something caring about a fan calling up, saying, "Hi mate, yeah, I thought you were shit to start with, but well done on your last couple of games. You've been good."
Yeah.
Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah, now that you've said that, my confidence has regrown because one person has told me that. You know, it was because of you I was playing crap because you put me down, not because I was actually playing crap, you know? It's just like, it's beyond. Sometimes you wonder what goes through some people's fans' heads, seriously.
It really makes me laugh every time I see it.
It's so funny.
It's so funny.
I think there's a difference between, you know, having your opinion and having agendas. If if a player plays well and you're still calling him out for being crap, then I'm against that. But if someone's played crap and you say, you call them out for being crap, that's fine. And yeah, as the guys have said in the chat, like, you can change your opinions. We can change our opinions. I'll say, obviously I was calling for Cooper to go, but obviously I was really happy, when we started winning games. I kept saying to you before, I don't want Cooper to go because I hate him as a person. I just want to win. I just want Forest to win football games.
Exactly.
And he's been doing that. So I've been, more than happy with Cooper.
Yeah. But it doesn't
since
make you
that.
an apology, Si.
No, we don't have like personal agendas against these people. We just.
Did you call Cooper up? Did you apologize?
Yeah, sorry. I need to get my apology and don't I get my written apology and submitted.
On formal paper.
Do a public apology as well. Yeah. That's what I don't understand. Why people? I've seen so many posts on social media about all these Cooper out people. Where's your apology? All this stuff. It's just like, for God's sake, like, we all want Forest to win football games, man. Yeah.
It's just like, and were these people hooting in? That's
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Yeah.
It's hilarious. But yeah, as Ed says, where are the likes, guys? And as Eddie says, look, the mantra on this channel always has been, it's just mates chatting in a pub. Yeah. We'll never agree. We will disagree. We may agree sometimes, but that's the whole point of it. Isn't that the point of football? Can you imagine if you sat there having seen, say, Lingard have a crap game, and you sit there and go, I thought Lingard was okay today. I could see there was effort and he was trying, and that's that's.
You say Lingard was shit today, man, and then the next week when he plays,
you got an agenda, Dean.
You know what? Lingard was brilliant today.
Sounds like you got an agenda, Dino.
Something you're never going to hear.
Dino has an agenda, guys. Okay, but this general period, going back to business here, this was a decent period, and I, like a lot in the chat, I was looking up and I was thinking, maybe my top 4 is on. Maybe we're going to go on a win streak and go through this top 4. And then the wheels did start to come off, didn't they, boys? Around this Fulham game was really bad. We had the double injury off the bat. I didn't feel there was much cohesion. Dino's boyfriend started playing for us there, Shelby. He actually looked decent in that game. He was actually okay when he came on.
Time he was 35 yards out, I'll tell you that much.
I wasn't going to bring it up. But it was like, again, this was where we were coming to the end of the January window. And in my opinion, I started to feel like Cooper had got to that stage again where he wasn't sure what his best 11 were, because we'd brought in 6 or so players, and it was starting to be a bit of a mishmash coming with the teams. Is that how did you guys see it?
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. This is when we brought Shelby in.
Are you?
Who else? Yeah, are you?
Wood.
Obviously Wood as well. Yeah.
Wood.
And I think actually Wood actually upset the shape of the team, the balance, because up to that point, Awoni'd obviously been injured, and we were playing this false 9, weren't we? And then all of a sudden, we're playing with a target man up front, and it just didn't.
But Dino, that's what we were calling out for. We wanted that target man.
I totally agree with you.
But it just took a little while to implement. I think that's the problem.
But it didn't help because he played his games that we needed to get to sign him as a permanent now, as our first signing, and he went away injured.
Yeah.
So that kind of scuppered everything. We obviously Cooper said, right, we need this target man, and I agree with it. I was calling for it personally, just for something different up front, because I was sick of that no striker.
Yeah.
And when we're speaking to Gary Birtles last week, he's the same. He's like you need a striker. You need people banging in goals for you. You're not going to get it from the field.
Look, onward, just very quickly onward. I mean, me and Si have had a little back and forth on it today. It's not about Wood for me. It's about the deal. I don't think he's good anyway. Yeah, I didn't really think he was going to hit the ground running for us. He's too slow, in my opinion, for the Premier League. It's the deal for me, man.
I'm not knocking Wood there, by the way. I agree the deal was too much. I think
it was stupid.
We've got our pants down there, but
it's absolutely stupid. But I get what your argument is on it, Si. You're saying he didn't get any service.
No, I remember clearly there was loads of times Johnson could have passed the ball to him. Various people could have passed the ball to him. I know what you're saying. Maybe he doesn't fit in this team because we're very we don't get the crosses in.
Yes,
I don't remember any time we get crosses in and head the ball in. We're very, quick, fast-paced counter-attack. So I can see, Awoni'i definitely suits our team. Yeah, that's his game. But I see what you mean. But what I keep saying is, I think he's a good option off the bench.
Yeah,
as a backup, because we don't have a backup at the moment. I know you were saying that we can go out and get another striker to challenge Awoni'i, but where are you getting these players from? Because no one half decent is gonna come and sign for Forest to sit on the bench.
Why? They're
just not. If they're good, they'll go somewhere where they can play first team football.
Yeah, but there's only a certain amount of slots, and in today's
strikers are hard enough to find.
Not many play 2 up front. I remember the days when they used to play 3 up front. So you're looking at a sole striker. So there's only 20 slots in the in the Premier League.
I still think Wood's a decent backup. If not him, then maybe it's Shea Adams or something. But then you're getting into crap, aren't you? But this is what we're dealing with. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm happy we've got Wood on the bench, because otherwise we've got no second striker.
I think you're looking at it the wrong way.
He didn't fit the club because we still are growing into a counter-attacking. That's just why we play deep.
Yeah, and I'm just talking about short term. I'm obviously just talking about short term. Yeah. If we can't get anyone in, then he's going to have to do, isn't he?
It costs us a lot of money for that.
Yeah, no, but I would say I'm behind him. Get behind him. He's our player now.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
I'm sure you guys, you all want him to score goals. Like we all want players to score goals. Yeah. I can see why people are skeptical, but maybe he's just he's only had like 7 games. Lodi was not great for the first few games. Maybe after a while he'll get to know the tactics of Cooper or get to know the players a bit more, because that was a bit frantic when he first came in. We were trying to expect instant results, but maybe if he gets a bit of time.
But look, for me, the difference between Lodi and Wood is when you see Lodi play, you know what his ceiling is because you've seen him at Atleti and what he did there. And even when he was playing shit in the kind of whole Leicester period, you knew that wasn't him. He was still finding his feet and everything. With Wood, he's been in the Premier League and he is at the age bracket now where he's starting to fall off. And it just feels like you saw that demise. Like, come on, the Newcastle fans, they've celebrating that they got rid of him for the amount they did. That has to tell
Yeah,
you
but
a lot.
Newcastle are a different place to where we are.
Not
They're
last
pushing
season
top
side.
4.
Don't forget where they
Last
were.
season they were where we are, mate.
Yeah.
They
So
still got
that's
like
the thing with
quality.
me.
They still had quality players in their team, though, didn't they? They still had Joe
Yeah,
Linton.
but the point I'm
Guimaraes.
making here is that Wood is towards the end of his career. Lodi is coming towards his prime. Yeah, I don't expect Wood to get to the levels he was 5-6 years ago in his whole Burnley hot patch and stuff. I expect to see a demote. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love Wood to come next season and score 20 goals. I just don't see it. But that's just my opinion. If he starts scoring goals, I'm more than happy to back him. If he's on the pitch, I'm backing him, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Mate,
my opinion on him is he's not good enough.
I just think at the moment this season we've had Surridge as backup, and I remember Surridge missing so many chances. This is what I'm saying to you. I think Wood would have put those chances away. The ones that Surridge missed.
He's making the chances.
I'm not sure about that.
And he's younger.
Yeah, but he's not good enough. The thing is, Wood's got 50 odd Premier League goals. Surridge has got 1.
Yeah,
you know, we know Wood could stick the ball in the net.
Dino.
Next season, everybody gets a clean slate for me.
Yeah, I like that. I agree.
Pre-season, get the tactics right, get everyone.
Yeah.
You know, got plenty of time to get to know. This is what I'm saying to you. I'm reserving my judgment. If Wood does well next season, you know, if he doesn't do well next season, then obviously I'll be saying bin him. But you know,
I think
let's see how he
good
gets on.
position to be in. I'm just saying, like my thought process is Wood isn't going to cut it. I hope he does, but I don't see it. You know, and the bottom line point I'm making here is when I'm looking for recruitment, I know what you're saying with Che Adams, but the way I'd describe it is you're recruiting underneath Taiwo. I want to see recruitment above Taiwo. I don't think we can get someone like that. Why not?
We were lucky to get Taiwo. He was hot in the Bundesliga. Was he like?
Yeah, but there are other strikers like this. We were linked with Becker. We were linked with Angelino, the Brazilian. Those kind of players.
Let's move on because we've got to cover.
Sorry.
We're getting into the whole. This is debate. We'll be doing this debate on next week's.
But let me just say something. I remember people slating Taiwo, absolutely slagging him off at the start of the season. I was there backing him, and you know he's delivered.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't slag players off too early. That's what I was saying.
We don't slag them off. We just point out their
not slag them off, but just let's give people time, see how they get on.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so then we went through this period where we just couldn't buy a win. We'll just talk about it generically. That Spurs game was horrific. Everton, the whole Shelby thing going on there. The West Ham game was really poor, and this is the stage for me where I'm looking at it thinking, we're in serious trouble, man. We just, we should have beaten Wolves. That Wolves and Everton game, everyone, again, it was a bit like the Bournemouth, Fulham games. Everyone was penciling that in as we'll be fine if we win those ones. And then we didn't. And then we went and lost to Leeds and Villa and then Man United at home and then that Liverpool one. And I think this is where, Dino, it started to shift. But I remember especially with you. Yeah. You were actually quite impressed with that Liverpool performance, weren't you?
Yeah, because before it was like Man City away, where we just looked like little lambs against lions.
Yeah.
But here we actually gave them a good go. We did, it was a close game. Lots of people were predicting like 4s and 5-0s. And although we didn't get any points, I thought it was a really positive performance. And kind of, I don't know, there was a couple of games after that that were not so good, but I think that was probably a catalyst that we can actually go and score some goals. And I think at that point as well, with Felipe bedded into the side, we started to look more solid at the back, and we weren't shipping stupid goals. I know we kind of did it. Brentford was a bit further on, but we weren't shipping goals very quickly. It didn't feel like. It felt like to me like there were people going to beat us by the odd goal. That's how it felt. And you're always in with a shout when you're down there and you're only getting beaten by the odd goal that you can pick up a point or 3. Yeah. Before we were getting, we were letting in silly goals, and I think Felipe was a catalyst. But he took a while to get to that, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I mean, that Liverpool game was a massive turning point. I remember because I was at the Villa game, and that was so toxic. The Villa away when they beat us 2-0, that was very toxic. That was the first time I sort of saw, our fans gesturing to the players like "fuck off," or heard people saying, these players. I've never felt such a small, I've never felt this much disconnect between the players and the fans, in terms of the fans just felt like we don't love these players. Who are these people? That there was that was.
Did you
with
feel
the
they
game.
weren't trying in that game?
Yeah,
So?
that's what I'm saying. It's just there was absolutely no effort, if you like, and that was where obviously Shelby did that stupid pass. And I remember Brennan Johnson was getting it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's when Brennan Johnson was getting it from some of the fans as well.
Yeah.
And I saw his face. He looked shocked when he was getting some abuse from the fans. Because obviously before that, the support was very, very supportive of the team. Even when we were getting slapped up at Leicester, we were very supportive of the team. But that Villa game was the first game I saw, fans really turning on the players. So that was a real low point, I thought, that Villa game. Because they were crap. Villa were shocking.
Yeah.
But again, maybe that's just because we were so bad they didn't need to raise their game for us.
But we were really low blocking that game, and as you mentioned, I forgot about that.
That was definitely a low moment. Yeah, that game. I needed therapy. I needed the therapy stream after that game. As soon as I came out of the ground, I just put your player ratings on.
I'm sure that didn't help, mate.
The Leeds away was a bad one for me. That was another bad one.
Yeah, I was sort of expecting to lose that, to be honest.
The early goals, we were better than them. We were hitting them hard on the counter, weren't we?
Yeah.
Mangala slotted in nicely.
Second half.
How Mangala scored the goal, I would never know, to be honest.
It was a lovely finish. It was lovely. I agree with what Thomas is saying. I think one of the big catalysts was Danilo coming on and giving MG Dub more freedom. And I would add to that the dropping of Freuler.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
and that was some decent catalyst moments there as well. And then we move on to that nice-ish period with that Brighton game, which was completely unexpected. Again, it was a really good time to play them. They just lost in the semis, wasn't it, to Man U in the Cup? And they came to us. What day was that? Was that a midweeker or something?
Which one? The Brighton game?
Brighton one, yeah.
Yeah, it says it there, Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, it does. Wednesday.
Yeah,
but at that stage...
That was a major turning point for me, that one. We were really good that day.
Yeah, Dino was out that game, wasn't he?
Yeah, really good that day.
And they didn't have an answer.
They got one back, didn't they? And they got a goal, and it just... I don't think any of the fans ever thought we wouldn't walk away with a win, without a win there. I think that was the game that we thought we were going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised at how confident fans were before that game, because I didn't think... to be fair, yeah, I mean, I did think maybe we can get something out of it, but looking back on it, if we didn't win that game, we would have been screwed, I think.
Yeah.
Because that's the game that ended our run.
Maddie, Phil, save these ones for next week, guys, because we're going to talk more players next week.
Yeah, next week we'll be going through the players and we'll be talking about the successes, the failures, etc. on each players. But yeah, it was a good game. And then, I mean, do we want to talk about that Brentford one? I think we talked it to death at the time. It's still fresh in everyone's mind. Yeah. And it was this one. I think coming here, these were the two key critical games for our survival. We had to beat Southampton. I would probably say this was, at this stage, the most important. Obviously, it would have been the most important game. But my worry going into this was the whole Bournemouth-Fulham period, the whole Everton-Wolves period. And I was a little worried about this one, and it became a bit of a back and forth, didn't it? It was a lot of goals. That was
a mental game. I wasn't expecting 4-3, to be honest, at that game.
It was absolutely
mental,
crazy.
Wasn't it? When we scored the 2 goals, I was very happy, but also I was thinking we could still throw this away. Some of the guy next to me was also sharing the same thought. There's still time for us to mess this up. And when they score their goal, I was just thinking, oh, for God's sake, here we go. But somehow we got it over the line. That's when Taiwo started his scoring run.
Yeah. The legend, the absolute legend. And in Chelsea, I felt we could have won that game. And, we should have won that game. But then the Arsenal one. What a day that was, boys. What a day. It was magical, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was immense. We had the right mentality that day. I don't know, just that whole period from kind of Chelsea, Palace, Southampton, Arsenal was, for me, I don't know what the chat felt, but I was thinking like we've got to really pull it out of the bag now and do something that we've not done all season and just pick up a stack of points in very, very difficult games.
Yeah.
Even after the Chelsea game, I was thinking, shit, we're still in trouble here.
Yeah, and we did it. But I think part of that is actually Cooper finding through injuries, actually, ironically. Because if we would have had to, strangely enough, if we wouldn't have had so many injuries, I don't think he'd have found that 15 still at the end.
It was also, you got to give him credit for switching back to the back three as well.
Which I wasn't a fan of, but it did the job.
Yeah. I think at that stage, it was just horses for courses right there, you know, and it had to be a case of, I think, like, I don't know, but maybe this was his thought process. What's worked? Well, when we've low blocked really well, we've been able to nick a goal on a counter attack kind of football. So I think he just went all in on that. And, you know, as we've mentioned, he said many times before, this isn't how he wants to play, etc., etc. So let's kind of see what happens going forward. But I just felt he almost mastered the low block. He really did. By the end of the season, he had it down to a
last
T.
few games, definitely.
And just to add to that, to give him credit, Dean Smith tried to copy him when Leicester played Newcastle, and they were able to get a point out of it. So I reckon had you seen Leicester start to pick up points from it, you may have seen Leeds starting to do it as well if it was a bit earlier in the season. And it could have left for an interesting game. It would have been horrible football to watch all around the Premier League.
I don't mind counter-attacking, but I personally don't like the low block. But
I'm not a fan of it.
We are progressing.
I don't mind low block.
The pitch in these last few games a lot more than we had.
I don't mind low block. For me, it's all about results. To be honest, I don't come out of football games caring about the game. I just care about getting the result. If I get a result, it could be the worst game of football. I don't care.
I agree. At that stage of the season, just give me the point to survive and regroup.
Well, no, for me in general, just
not for me.
Just in general. Like next season, if we have to low block, I'm not against it. If we get points from it, I don't mind.
You know what you're saying?
I don't watch football for entertainment. I watch football for the results.
Shut the sex, I got.
Harvey, yes, you can buy merch from the shop. Just for everyone else, we are going to be launching some incredible merch. Unique merch over the next couple of months during the close season. We can't say too much at the minute, but we will be doing sort of limited edition stuff. So it'll all be unique and Forest related. It will all be from our own team. And it'll be sort of moments through time, and it'll be in different formats as well. So moments through time being from the European Cup days to surviving this season, for example. So we're going to really ramp up our efforts on the merch stuff, and we're going to put it a bit more front of shop so you guys can see.
And there is, if you do ! merch and click on the link, there is some nice Waka Waka t-shirts in there if you're interested in that. So we've got a bit of a summer line going through. Okay, so Arsenal, Forest survive. Tears, joy, everything. And it gets us to Palace, and we have that lovely, lovely party stream. Look, I don't want to go into much. We're way over on schedule in terms of how much we've talking. But we've had a couple of questions that I just want you guys to quickly address. I think we'll finish with this one. Harvey says, who would be your player of the season? Dino, kick us off for you. Who was your player of the season?
Over the season, MGW. I know he had some light moments, but I think he's been brilliant. I think his creativity is fantastic. His skill, but if you're talking about since January, then Felipe without a doubt. But I'll take MGW. And congrats MGW if you're watching, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys in the chat, get yours in. I know I've seen a few of them earlier on. What about you, Sai?
Well, before we go on to that, can I just say I called the 1-0 Forest as well against Arsenal on our predictor stream, and you guys all slagged me off for it. Just gotta get that 2-1. In. I said 1-0 as well.
2-1, mate. I said 2-1.
Yeah, and right, okay. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, probably Morgan Gibbs-White. I mean, Morgan Gibbs-White was the player that I wanted us to sign the most before the season started. That was, who really, really was excited to see at the club. And I thought we weren't going to sign him. When Lingard came in, I thought, that's it. Probably not going to get Gibbs-White now. But yeah, when he signed, I was very, very pleasantly surprised by that. So yeah, I would have to say it's him because not just for the output, but also the passion, the fight, the determination. He's been there the whole season.
The fans as well, Si.
Yeah,
he has some good banter with the fans, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just the whole round package, really. Oh my god, he's Asian, should be. Yeah. Mate, but yeah, Gibbs-White, like, just as I said, all round package. Maybe I was expecting a few more goals from him, but the assists are fine.
I think they'll come. I think they will come.
It'll be interesting when he plays against Sheffield United next season.
Yeah.
And if we keep Dean Henderson as well, that'll be funny, wouldn't it?
That would be funny. Yeah. I think that's going to be happening.
That's great.
Update you guys on the daily news. For me, look, Morgan Gibbs-White was my boy from the start, but I want to pick someone different just to spice it up. I think two players for me that were catalysts, like Morgan Gibbs-White would be my number one, but just to be different so it doesn't end up in an echo chamber. I'm going to say Felipe and Danilo in terms of the second half of the season. I think they were two huge, huge players for us. I think Felipe organized that back line like you've never seen. He was in the right place at the right time every single moment. He made one mistake against, was it Southampton? Who's fake? No, it's Chelsea. Against Chelsea. Actually, two. He made a mistake against Southampton as well. But honestly, I just think Danilo driving that midfield forward and who was the first person to figure that out? Our man right here, Dino, back when we bought him, puts up a video saying Danilo's not a CDM. He's a box-to-box player. And that's exactly what he is. So well done, Dino.
So all you from the haters that was saying he wasn't, go and apologise to him. And then apologise to me at the same time.
The video is up there. The video still is back in January or mid-January. I think it's still there if you haven't seen it. So for me, I will give it obviously to Morgan Gibbs-White, but my special mentions have to be Felipe and Danilo. They were just ridiculous. And, as much as people say, and we'll talk about recruitment on next week's stream, recruitment was bad. Honestly, out of the 30 players, whatever it is we bought, I'd say 5 were duds and 25.
Yeah. This is what I keep saying. That I've been a big fan of the recruitment. We've brought in some really good players, quite cheap as well. Like near Karte, what, 8 million or 12 million or something?
12 million,
That's an absolute bargain.
6.5-year contracts.
Yeah.
But there's still people out there slating our players, saying we've got crap players, or the recruitment's knee spinning, or all this stuff that all the media out there saying we, all the 30 signings or whatever. They don't know shit, man. Like,
you know what? I know this is really, really like left field, but if Lingard would have been fit and played every game, he might have done really well.
No chance.
No, but also Dino, it doesn't.
West Ham.
Dino, it doesn't matter. He's cost us what, 5 million, and that's it. 1 year contract. That's it. All we've lost is 5 million. Whereas that's cost the same as flipping Biancone. You don't get the media saying slating Forest for spending 5 million on Biancone or 7 million on Omar Richards, who's never kicked a ball for us, or Chelsea, who's stuck with 80 million pound Mudryk for 8-year contract.
Lukaku, 100 million.
Yeah, that's how.
I apologise.
Look, what I will say about Lingard, and I still stand by this, I went off him very quickly after the hype and everything. I didn't rate him at all. I couldn't see anything on the pitch from him. But, and I've always said this, he was probably one of the most important signings of that window, because the lights were on Forest, and it suddenly was like, oh shit, Forest can attract these, big name players, so to speak. And I think he was really important as a signing. He was crap on the pitch. I'll always stand by that. But as a profile, I felt it really did us the world of good. So I'm not even annoyed that we signed him. I think it was really important that we signed him. And there's a lot of people saying, oh, Marinakis Jr., it was his ego that signed it and all this stuff. I'm like, so what? It worked. I feel that every single player that we bought that played at some point had an impact on the season in a positive way. You know, apart from England.
I've got a heavy heart for Scarpa, though, I have to say.
Well, we will cover all of that next week on the stream. Look, we are way over time, so I do want to wrap it up there, guys. We still have to do a giveaway on the points tally. By the way, we have, again, receipts for everyone. So we'll go through those and we'll get in touch with the person who won the hoodie from the stream we did where we predicted all the points tally. And guess who said 38 points? Thank you. Thank you very much. And you all said I was being negative.
We scored 38 goals as well. So 38 games. Yeah, 38 games, 38 points, 38 goals.
Goal a game. You can't complain. You can't complain. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane. I forgot so many things, and thank you to everyone who came on and reminded us about a few of those things. And so I wish you hadn't mentioned the Villa pass.
Richarlison one was brilliant.
Richarlison one, but then I mentioned the Villa pass of your boy Shelby. I deleted that from the memory bank, man. Anyway, there it is.
I couldn't. It was in front of me.
Cool. Crypto, yeah, we've been going way too long now. All right, guys, we'll be back tomorrow with a daily video and transfer news update. This time next week, we will be going through the successes and the failures from the transfer window and the team in general, so you won't want to miss that. Again, we will get you guys involved. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a quick like, and we'll see you tomorrow on the daily news. And come on, you Reds.
Come on, you Reds.